Okay, so when she started, although she was not in that sense westernized, but she was very strong on dignity of the women, no charity and empowerment. But she was very clear when we started that all this effort is towards a cause in which if it doesn't convert into cash, those kind of things that nobody speaks about. But she said, no, that was their problem. Let's go ahead. Or intra-religion working together. It's not everybody knows, but nobody talks about it. We had to deal with it in Shrujan. In a village, you couldn't have 3 working places. So small things like that. But it made a huge social impact in the village. Shrujan had a brand image. They're there for the cause and the women's cause. So that is a big difference to work on the social problems. And then we came to creativity. Skill enhancement is good, but the creativity was even more important because if they were not empowered to be creative themselves, it will not be sustainable. You will always be relying on urban, smart asses like me that will come and make them the designing program. This is good for 1 season, 2 seasons, but then so that we started looking within the community for resource people who want to share their talent. So then the museum came up, and till today, all the efforts, actually speaking, are because the center of gravity should not shift from the artisan, which in embroidery are women largely, but we are increasing our weavers. But they need to be empowered to work for the sector enough, so that people like us are not required. I wouldn't say that we become redundant. What I say is the relationship constantly changes from charity to partnership and to also even sharing eventually. Because even in partnership, they don't live the lifestyle that we live. So they can't design for the lifestyle that we have, much less a Western lifestyle. So what do? You can't take them abroad. So you keep holding their hands and say that, if you want to sell other than in your village, then you have to have certain norms of craft, or you have to have a discipline. The training is more for that. The skill is always there. But how you stick to a color combination, that training nobody gives. So there's no chance in hell that they'll ever get it done. So basically it is to expose them that kind of thing. How do they listen? How do they create for somebody else? So this is a very indirect training. And I want you guys to talk about that. It is not only skill specific, but case specific. You can't have one model for a community or an individual or a skill. So what Shrujan has done is to make it possible to be individually as much as possible, be interested in their capacity, which is so latent that sometimes you have to have patience so it comes out and hold for a long time. So although we start with a charity model, but very early on we decide to move on. We have an exit policy. Otherwise what it is very comforting that it feeds into each other. Then we are the mic up, the difference between the old model and the new model. There have been cases where people have moved out of Shrujan's circle and become completely independent. But by and large, I think it's very difficult that you can't empower all of them. Some of them don't want to be empowered beyond a point. So you have to keep the program on, feed them the work and the raw material. We have a simple rule. If it sells and it conforms to certain values, then we should do it. So we were not complete sellout to market forces, but at the same time we were not so rigid that we would have only traditional designs. So we very early on found out that if we are not flexible, then we will miss the train. So in flexibility that we started exploring what other designers do and what is applicable in our case, because we don't have a controlled manufacturing studio setup, which successful design studios have. When we were at the end of the day, we are not even a design studio. Exactly what we were is not very clear. still. But sometimes it is like NGO, sometimes it is actually being my about, sometimes it is being the platform where things happen. So if we get a designer, then facilitation between the community and the visiting designer has become a big role. It doesn't reflect on the products, but we have to do that because in order to demystify the mysteries on both the sides. So, two respective parties, why it is not possible. But on the other hand, what is possible? That we have to constantly dialogue. So that has become more, and the result of that is diversity of products. We are also always stuck at professional presentation of knowledge. And if you guys are doing this, I would expect that from you. That if there are methodologies for drawing the capacity out of the community and still not mess it up. NGOs can't do it because they don't have the strategy. And then they start manufacturing the day they get involved. There's no way in hell you can. So I've been trying to talk to other NGOs where I work as a resource person. Then first you create the stock and then we take it to the market. So there's a big the brand image problem is not there. Exactly what is to be made and kept in stock, blocking the capital, is a big hurdle for us. So if we were to be partnering with somebody like you guys and you say that you make it now and then in a year's time we will ensure that you get your investments with some return. So people haven't seen capacity latent in NGOs and in rural from that kind of creative output. Say that you give the samples, we book the orders, and then we give you the and there is a deadline and we have a score. It never works. It will never work because we don't operate like that. Here is the deal then. In order to make hardware, you need bricks. You don't design bricks. So we should segregate what is required as bricks, we should keep aside. Then it can be customized and hardware can emerge. So, people don't think logistics and supply chain and efficiency and things like that because we don't attract the best and the brightest from the corporate world. So we never get there. If somebody was to look at the whole chain and say that where are the pockets of strength and what is the strategy that is reflecting it will go a long way. The export model repeatedly has proven itself not to work. So I don't know why everybody thinks it is not. When it doesn't work, what else will work? We don't know because we don't think about it collectively. So we can sit here and then speculate.